what song can we truly say has transcended?
Open the doors, really?
That's right.
I think it's unfortunate to say this, but I think it's been that U.S. cosign. Look at Cardi. He was always dope, but he never really blew internationally on like a pop culture level till Akon, you know, signed him, and he's touring and shutting down stadiums with Dangerous. And then same thing for Drake. He's been dope for the last 4 years, but until Lil Wayne co-signed him, you know, now he's all over the radio, and it sucks, but that's how I see it.
If I could chime in for a minute, I'd say when Cardinal was featured on that Grinding remix, I think it just blasted the door open as far as the respect level from, you know, the U.S. and just people who are just into the mainstream. Because I mean, you could be felt on an underground level. I can remember when Socrates showed up on Tony Touch's, I can't remember the mixtape name, but the P's and Q's track was on there. Me personally, I felt like that was a big step in Canadian hip hop, but you know, the average music listener probably still doesn't know that track to this day. But as far as Cardi showing up on a Clips track and actually, you know, standing out, I think that probably was one of the more clear-cut moments.
And that's definitely one of the first ones as a DJ. I remember playing that one in the clubs, and it got the biggest forward.
People were singing a lot, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I still think even in the 80s when the whole hip-hop movement was going, the Canadian hip-hop, even in the underground, we could say how, that's what I'm saying, I'm still putting Maestro out there, but he did the track, he was doing the bridge with Showbiz and AG as well. Yeah, that's what at that point, fine-tuned the mic, and it was a dangerous album. And even at the time, Mishi Me was out there with MC Light and the whole female movement. So that was another bridge as well, too, for getting the hip-hop. But at that point, it was still in that underground stage. And I think when Cardi did the Grinding, or we can still talk about the Soccer Tony Touch, that was starting to elevate the whole, like, everyone was looking at Canada, yeah, these guys are for real.
Okay, Muziklee, Inzane, did you want to chime in on that?
Nah, man, pretty much Channel 9 summed it up right there. Cause I was gonna say, like,
he's writing notes to me, and I was reading.
Yeah, fine-tuning the mic definitely for Maestro. I think opened up a lot of doors. I mean, plus with saying Wishing Me, if I remember correctly, like KRS-One, those guys came up here actually to work with Wishing Me and do stuff with her. She was on First Priority, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean.
That was like a bridge album too.
Yeah.
So the First Priority was album 2. Mishimi was on the cut of that album. So.
For those tuning in right now, you're listening to a segment called Canada's Getting Colder. We're reviewing perspectives of Canadian hip-hop culture across Canada, and we're speaking to a few of some of the, I guess, highlighted DJs and music connoisseurs across the country when it revolves around Canadian hip-hop. Now, we started to get into the conversation. We talked about the star power and how that's really impacted the crossover appeal of hip-hop to the masses across Canada. Does star power impact your choice in music as DJs, and if not, do you think it definitely does it impact the choice of the average consumer? And that's open to everybody.
Definitely for me, I can see how it affects the consumer. Me personally, I'm more focused on the quality of lyrics, the quality of recording, you know, just the overall quality of songs and songwriting. But I think it's more of an after topic to look at. Like, I'll take into consideration like J. Cole blowing up. Like, he's not really a star yet, but his star power, you know, being co-signed from other lyricists in the game, kind of makes me look at him more. Yeah. From a Canadian perspective, I think, you know, the star power is kind of lacking here. So, you know, it definitely makes you look at music differently when there's no star power behind it. Like,
I so agree with them, especially like quality for sure for me is like a big thing, because I think a lot of people, they do not realize how hip-hop, how big it is. There's a lot of artists, a lot of underground, what they'll call underground artists, but there's just hip-hop in general. A lot of music nobody knows about these are so as radio DJs, or us on the radio, it's our job to really get this music out there and take it from there. That's
now. Respect it.
I was just to add to the fact, yeah, definitely for myself, it's about the music first. Like, you know, I've been supporting guys like Tona and Drake on mixtapes since '06, and you know, now, like I said, because Wayne co-signs dude, the masses love him, you know what I mean, or it takes that to get to the general public on a level like Billboard and a pop culture level, which is unfortunate. I'm not mad at that because it's still exposing talent, you know what I mean, good talent, but yeah, for me it's about the music first, and I think this, like Whiz said, the star power definitely might help, you know, draw attention to certain artists, but it should be about the music first. I think that's the case with all the DJs here. That's why we do this at the end of the day.
I think it's great for hip hop. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but it's great for hip hop. Even you have your little pop hip hop here. And it's great for the movement of hip hop because we are reaching like a whole audience that would never even know. Okay, this is hip hop, and then it tunes them. It gives them an idea. Okay, let's dig further into this hip hop movement and see what other artists are out there. So I think it's great. Some people will say, nah, it's too poppy, but it's great that it's still out there.
It's opening doors, yeah.
Talking to a host of DJs right now in the studios of CHRY 105.5 in the middle of a documentary radio broadcast called Canada's Getting Colder, a joint perspective on Canadian hip-hop culture. Now, I talked before about the fact that we talked to other DJs across the country, so I'm going to let DJ Arms in on this conversation for a little bit, and I'll let you hear some of his feedback out of Vancouver. And he's going to continue this discussion we had about star power. And more importantly, although we say that star power doesn't influence our choices, one of the questions that I posed to DJ Arms was the fact that as DJs we receive so much music, literally hundreds of new tracks every month. And more times than not, the DJs will pick an artist who is of similar caliber in terms of production, content, quality of lyrical delivery. But if he's American, he gets put forward in the club before a similar artist in Canada. So we'll hear what Arms has to say about that, and then we'll have you guys chime in on that.
Yo, this is DJ Arms representing the Faction Sound Crew out of Van City. That's a good point, and I chalk that up to, yeah, I may do that, but a lot of the time that comes down to people knowing the song, right? And what's getting pushed out there. And unfortunately, we do have our, CRTC laws that say we play the 33% or whatever it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean the stuff is getting played. They may not be that great or whatnot, but, the quality is there somewhat. Do start to get their huge amounts of push from the States and, become bigger up here. Whereas, a track I may be feeling may not get any spins at all commercially. And I'll still put it in my set, but whether or not I drop it during a primetime set, it's a little more difficult. Beats banging, you can always do that, but it goes, by notability and if people know it,
DJ Arms from Vancouver representing Faction Sound Crew, and in studio we have Channel 9, Muziklee Inzane, Grand Whiz, and DJ Wristpect. Continue on that topic, we do agree that there's a lot of quality Canadian hip-hop, but does it make it into the playlist of the average program director and or DJ in the clubs? And why is that? I'll open that up to you guys again.